Girl, we recording. We on. We live. Hello. Hello.
Hello, hello.
Hey, what's up? What it do? How you doing, girl?
I am good. The baby is at Disneyland with her grandmother, so I am good.
Yay. I'm glad she's enjoying herself.
She is. She's having a full Encanto fantasy. Full Encanto fantasy.
I'm glad you said the word fantasy because these heifers is in their own world.
Yes. Full fantasy. There are a lot of full fantasies going on.
My God. Girl, these housewives are something else. That's all I know. These housewives are something else.
Part of me wonders if we've gotten to the era of like where like just we've produced to the level that they know that this is what we need to see. Do you know what I mean? I mean, the noobs coming on, what they're ready with.
I think they just don't care anymore. They know they're getting filmed. They know they're getting a check, even though it is what it is on the check, like Monique said.
I've heard it's really not that great the first couple years.
I mean, even if it is a measly check, I don't know. I guess folks gonna do what they gonna do. I guess that's my bottom line with it all. They gonna do what they gonna do anyway.
Well, I also think that because we've seen Teresa Giudice on the other side of her situation, I think a lot of women are going on the show thinking, I'll survive it, whatever it is I'm going to bring.
What's the other side of her situation? What does that mean?
Well, she went to jail and then she got out and she's still on the show. She's like living her best life.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It's like we watched her go through some crazy shit on the show and then come back and be just fine. And so it makes me wonder if a lot of these women are looking at the situation going, I'm going to use this to pogo stick out of whatever drama I'm bringing onto the show. That's what I think Noella was trying to do, but I'm not sure.
I'm with you on that. I honestly think Noella was just by her sorry, but she just seems so fake to me with that how she speaks and you know that
hi, I'm your new best friend.
Yeah, it's like, girl,
yeah, it's fake.
Where are you from again? Because it's like that extra proper type of talk certain girls do, but all these certain girls are gold diggers. That's just my personal view, because they all digging for gold. They all with somebody with money who talks like that. It's like that persona that they're trying to portray so that you can see them as something that they want you to see versus who they really are.
Right. It's all about the status and the persona. Oh, I 100% agree with you. And I think Noella fits that perfectly because regardless of any of and this is all allegedly speaking, of course.
Yeah, and I like her. It's not like it's
no,
not,
I know.
It's not like her name is Vicky, but that's a whole different can we're gonna open up later.
Boop, 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 boop. Yes. No, I like her too because I'm like, listen, you came in hot. You are a little bit too much, like to the point that you're a scene killer. I think that you're really heavily medicated right now on some prescription meds, some prescription meds along with some alcohol. So I think I'm curious to see how she rebounds. I'm curious to see if they give her a second season, what she's going to take notes from and how she's going to adjust.
Well, I think she's doing a full split from what I understand. Shout out to Roddy the Voice. He always say, you ever seen him? He is just so funny.
Yes, I have. Shout out to Roddy.
Somebody doing a full split.
Yes.
That's what she's doing. With
True.
This new guy. So I think she all right. I mean, gold diggers gonna continue to dig.
She seems very smart. When I saw her on Watch What Happens Live, did you see her on Watch What Happens Live?
I think so.
There was a question where Andy said to her, Noella, if you had any, now, do you have anything to say to James? Use the camera time for the opportunity. And she basically said, if you want me to stop doing this, and she made like the hand speaking gesture, then you need to do this. And she put the signature gesture with her hand. So basically, if you want me to stop airing your shit on TV, sign the divorce papers, give me my money, my settlement, and I'll be on my way as a single mom on the show.
Wait, okay, I think I saw it, but you said if he doesn't want her to keep talking, she's gonna stop doing what?
Sorry, I guess I didn't explain that well, considering nobody can see us. She basically said, if you want me to stop talking about you and our marriage and the situation of you not seeing your son and leaving me with no money and all of that stuff, then you need to sign the divorce papers. I will quit speaking if you sign. Yes.
Something that man. All of that just now, unless he's just an ain't-ish person, I don't see. I just can't. How could he do her like that? I mean, girls, a whole lot we don't know.
That is the truth right there. That's not alleged.
Needs kid and he gallivanting all in different hemispheres and carrying on. What?
When I told you, I sent you the IGs. He's doing this weird IG lives talking about how he's a good, they're just playing shenanigans on social media. So I haven't really heard from anything about him lately. It seems to be all her.
He needs to be ashamed of himself. He is an attorney who has certain ethical and moral code standards, and this is not befitting of what he signed up for.
What in the Tom Girardi is all this? What in the Tom Girardi? That's the new phrase. What in the Tom Girardi?
He got a little bit of the TG.
Yes.
TG 22.
Right? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Exactly. Wow. Just a little bit, right? Because if you got the full TG, you're in trouble.
I mean,
Erica.
Well, he may be she may be all right if he got the full TG. She may get it all.
Well, he's yeah, but he's like over $5 million in debt to the IRS.
Oh no, goodbye.
See, yeah. See, it's
that's a blessing in disguise, girl.
The layers of that. The layers. And that's why I told you, I do not know exactly. I don't know what's going on with that one yet. There's so many layers to that. It's like you can't tell who's in on what, who's orchestrating what's real, what's not.
Listen.
Stack of vaginas. We do know that's real.
That's probably part of the problem. I don't see why these wives want to sister wives from time to time just to please their husband and then get upset when he do it without them. I don't listen. I understand relationships is what folks make them. I get it. But that's not what marriage is about. Marriage is about two people. That's it. That's all. Not a stack of vaginas.
Or a grimy little dungeon. I would not want to be in that room. Why would you even want to be in that room?
And then you bring a kid into the situation. If it was just y'all fool our line and carrying on, that's one thing. Y'all can do it to each other, whatever. But in a special needs kid, at some point, somebody got to be real grown about this.
Well, and she has a 7-year-old from a previous relationship that is not allowed to be on camera.
Girl, shut up. She got a kid already?
A 7-year-old daughter, and the daughter's father wouldn't release for her to be on camera.
I wouldn't either, because to me, Noella just like a sort of more mature version of Bronwyn.
I wouldn't even necessarily say more mature, but in some ways, yes, I do agree with you. You know what else? She's like reminds me like she's got some Brandy Glanville energy.
Who does?
Noella.
Yeah.
Some like hot mess, like I'm on the edge of falling all apart because I can't keep my substances straight.
I think so. I think she does have a little bit of the BG.
Of the BG. It's the PG, little of the BG. We gotta keep coming up with a little of the G's.
I will never forget when she was on Beverly Hills. And that, I think it was the last, no, it was, anyway, when they were having a party, I don't know whose party it was. She was so lit. She looked like a stick figure. And I'm not talking about her weight. She literally, like in the shadows of it all, it looked like a stick figure gone wild. She was just arms everywhere. I think she fell back.
Yes, I know exactly. I was about to ask you, did she fall? Like it was kind of a Halloween party, I think.
Girl.
Fell like a you know.
What am I looking at over there in the
corner? Jack Skellington hitting the ground.
If I was her, if I was them kids' husband, them kids couldn't be on TV with their mama either.
Yeah.
Because there ain't no way. No way. Brandy is she is ghetto fish if I ain't ever seen it before. She is so ghetto.
Yeah.
Embarrassing sometimes. But I like her though. She good TV.
See, I find yes, Brandy is a necessary evil. Like I feel sad when I look at Brandy because I'm like, I see kind of somebody that really got broken by a situation, and I appreciate your scrappy tenacity. I do. I appreciate but I also see that like she's always constantly about to derail her own life by some really like, reckless choices. And I think that if she needs to be real, she's just not in control of her substances either. Like every story that everybody tells is how Brandy got wasted as fuck and did whatever. And I'm not here to suggest, addiction or not or whatever, but like if we all go through shit in our lives where the way that we consume things are actually messing up our lives, then what are we doing? Right? So that I feel I can comfortably say is like, Brandy, I feel bad. I know she got really badly burned in a laser treatment on her face and just recently, and she's very insecure. I think with what the public says to her, I don't think she's ever gotten a thick enough skin for that shit.
Really?
But she's going to be on Girls Trip, and I heard that she outdoes Ramomo.
Well,
so come on, Brandy, take the shot.
I mean, didn't she go toe to toe with Nene at some function?
I don't know specifically, but I would not be surprised. She threw a glass of wine on Jeff Lewis on Watch What Happens Live.
On the show, she did.
Yes, she did.
Shut up. What?
Yeah, it was a witty banter gone wrong. Because she was too inebriated.
Yeah, see, stuff like that. Mm-hmm.
Well, that's when she slapped Lisa Vanderpump across the face.
About that.
Right? Everybody that watched that went, wrong road. Whoa. You can't just slap a bitch. Whoa. Everybody was like, good Lord. I mean, the look on her face.
Dumbfounded, girl.
She was shocked blue eyes.
I was like, ooh.
I know.
I'm like, what's going
Part of me kind of respected Brandy for doing it because Lisa's such a fucking puppet master. Like, you kind of the audacity, if you're going to be the trashy one on the show, you might as well, right? But at the same time, I'm like, you can't just slap her in the face. What are you doing?
I can't believe nothing else happened after that.
I know. Oh, if you had slapped me in the face, you better believe I would have hit you back.
I mean, honestly, if it was anybody else, I think it would have. I think that show would have ceased to. It would have been like NYC. We are not filming until we're
right.
We still don't know when they come back.
No. And Andy won't give an update either. Like, people have asked him. He's like, we don't have any updates.
I think they're protecting Ramona, period, point blank.
I think they're protecting themselves by trying to get this to go away. And like, just like, you know what I mean?
It's too, well, honestly, because complaints were filed by a castmate and production against her, I think they're protecting her.
Did production do it too?
That's what I was told, allegedly.
Ooh, right. Allegedly speaking, of course.
That production filed, somebody working there filed something, and another housewife. I think it was I call her Brandy, Ebony.
Yes, I know Ebony did.
So by now, it should have been straightened out.
Yeah.
What could it have been that is taking so long? First of all, that y'all don't film a reunion.
Mm-hmm.
It's that serious to where they don't film a reunion. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, did they not have a finale? It seemed real abrupt.
Yeah, the whole season. I mean, I thought Orange County during COVID was really bad. I mean, all of the franchises kind of suffered. Yeah. Atlanta really suffered. But in fact, I think that's my least favorite. Last season was my least favorite of Atlanta, period. Mm-hmm. But I feel like New York, I feel like they just it was such an abrupt, we had no closure, period.
Right. I don't know what's going on over there.
I don't know. I don't either.
Dallas had a better send off.
Yeah, I know, right? Well, you know what pisses me off too? Actually, think about it. You know why they're being quiet and they haven't readdressed any of that shit? Is because they wanted to get Girls Trip out because Ramona was on it. So they needed to keep that shit neutral as possible so that they could do Girls Trip. And now they're, well, you know what I mean?
Yeah, they still protecting her.
Yes.
And just like they did Chris Noth, they got him off of that Equalizer show with well, I don't want to say get off, but he ain't on there no more. It was real quick, just like when and just like that. Those two shows he was on simultaneously, and just like that, he's gone. But Ramona's still here. I'm not comparing those two, but both allegations of the situation are extremely controversial to where termination would not be, it wouldn't be surprising.
I agree with you. I honestly think it's time to retire Ramona anyway. She's like, I mean, I'm not trying to be ageist, but I just feel like depending on where they go with the cast, she's no longer got really peers anymore. She's just getting kind of more absurd.
And no storyline.
Yeah. I mean, it's just kind of played a course. The only time we really kind of dealt with Ramona is because of her in the mix with Sonia and Dorinda, you know?
Yeah, I miss Dorinda. I'd rather have Dorinda than why is Dorinda gone again?
She had a bad season, is what they say. They keep saying she had a bad I think because I think she came off, you know what it is? I think she came off very unlikable at the reunion. And I guess I don't really know why they sat her down if they didn't feel like she was maybe going to come back and be likable. Maybe her scores were really bad. They always look at what their Q score or whatever the heck that name is for their scores to see how well they're doing within bringing in, viewers.
Uh-huh.
But I don't know. I mean, Dorinda is on this next girls trip as well. So
I haven't seen either girls trip because I don't have that. What was that, Peacock?
yeah.
Yeah. Shoot. Like, I mean, it didn't seem that interesting to me personally.
I was kind of I have, you know what, I haven't
Oh.
looked at it either because I've kind of gotten a little bit of some of this reality show fatigue with some things, but I thought it was interesting the clips that I heard them talk about what it's like when they broke the fourth wall, when they discussed what it was like to be a housewife.
Mhm.
Like Luann talked about her marriage to Tom, and like, you know, they talked about things with each other in a
But
way that was
she's still on that 2-week date.
yes.
How she married 2 weeks? Was she married to him for 2 weeks?
Oh, some yeah, like yeah, he
Girl.
yeah.
Anyway,
Oh, I
she's
know.
a big old clout chaser too. Luann. All she is nothing but clout, clout, clout. Her first name should be Clout.
Cloutus Luann.
Cloutis. There you go. Why didn't I think of that? Clout. Yes.
Cloutus Luann.
She's all about the clout. If it's not about this or it's not about that, and it has to be this, like, girl.
Yeah, I can't stand Leah. I literally was a big fan of hers the first season that she had, but the second season I was like, oh no, I want no more of you.
You know, I have I can deal with just about anything, but when you're a flighty parent, it really concerns me. Now, I know her child is almost grown or a teenager, but I'm just hearing all these. I'm listening to her story.
Mm-hmm.
And for the most part, I'm cool with her, but
Right.
all of this, you know, all of these shenanigans she's doing with a young impressionable kid
Like
bothers me.
stunts. They feel
She
like
can't get
stunts.
her ish together.
Yeah, and she feels really stunty to me. Like the religious conversion felt really like a stunt.
I think she's trying really hard to not do what she wants to do, knowing it'll hurt herself. I think she has an addiction of some sort, and I think she's just she's grasping at things, not to say it's a bad thing, but
right.
maybe I just don't think she's as focused as she may portray her, or maybe trying to trick herself to be, so she's not focused on that thing she doesn't want to be focused on. Could be me, I could be wrong, but when it
I
comes to
feel
people
like
with substance issues, usually they run to things so that they don't have to deal.
Right. Well, that's another point that I honestly think is very evident in across all of the franchises, is that the longer the women are on the show, the developed substance abuse is very clear in order to like.
Ain't that nothing?
What?
I say, girl, ain't that nothing?
It's rampant.
That's an observation.
Yeah, it's 100%. I don't think you look at all the OGs. I mean, look at what's happening. Look at what Emily is the perfect example of this season. When she joined the show, she didn't drink because Shane is Mormon. So didn't really not a big drinker in the home. She'd have maybe half a glass of champagne. Shannon, who was already drinking her feelings away through her divorce, told Emily, you're not very fun, right? So now Emily, what are we on? Emily's third. Is this their third season or their fourth season?
Third, I think.
Yes. And now the Hulk is coming out because she's like, you know, definitely gotten into drinking with the ladies at events. But you can just see that, like, you can't handle your booze because, you know, you threatened to kill Kelly, like, you know, at your own house on your first season or second season, and then, you know, now they like literally Gina's looking at you like you're hulking out. Oh, let me get you out of here because you're about to look really crazy on national television.
Yeah, these ladies.
because and then like, I mean, God, like look at the years when Sonya's not doing well. I mean, like all of them, like they start to rely on sitting in a table. Yeah, it's like, and honestly, I bet a lot of them abuse other substances in order to like counterbalance that. Like I know that
not from Beverly Hills, grounding up Ambien and shakes and carrying on. So
yeah, and doing Adderall so that you can keep drinking and not get too weight. I mean, all of the Vanderpump Rules kids were doing that.
Wait, Adderall does what?
Adderall it's like basically, it's like an upper. So they were, if you have adult ADD, then you had a prescription for that, and a lot of people will take it because it allows you to drink more because it's a stimulant.
Girl.
Oh yeah, it's very commonly abused out here. Very commonly.
First propofol, now Adderall.
Mm-hmm.
Child.
Fentanyl, all the all-nols and the yeah, I mean, but at the same time, if you look at the producers are waiting for the time where the cast gets so drunk they lose their inhibitions to be absolutely ridiculous, right? And if you're doing your best to like avoid that because of the fallout, I mean, how many of us would want, I mean, granted, these women have gone far beyond a lot of the things most of us have done, but how many of us would want to be wasted drunk on camera?
Girl, no.
Right. So there's this horrible, I feel like there's a horrible level you can see anyone, a lot of them, not all of them, but a lot of them, you're literally creating alcoholics or substance abuse. You're just, because you're using alcohol to fuel the ridiculousness. Look at like even Denise and Aaron. Look at how stupid Aaron got all of a sudden when he had a couple of drinks. I mean, and threatening too, right? Like I was like, he is woo.
Wait, who was that? I'm sorry.
Denise's husband, Aaron, from Beverly Hills.
Mm-hmm. Allegedly speaking, of course, I believe that daughter don't want to be in that house because of him.
Allegedly speaking, of course, I think you're probably right.
Allegedly speaking, of course, remember that episode on Beverly Hills when he threatened her with her to squeeze her hand or something?
Yes. Oh, yes. When he was like, "You're gonna keep talking, I'm gonna break your fucking hand" or something like that.
Yeah. And her castmates were, we were concerned, just like who on season 1.
Yeah. And look,
it's too much like right. It's too much like right.
Yep. And listen, her taste in men is clearly not good.
What?
Her taste in men. If you look at Charlie Sheen with all he's got going on, and that's, you know what I mean? Her picker can't be right.
Remember her crew back in the 80s? Remember that crew? The one that I think this new Nicole on OC came from? That old crew from the late 80s, early 90s of Hollywood, of Locklear, Denise, the one we talking about.
Yes.
All those, I think, was Shannon. No, I don't think Shannon, she was there, but I don't remember all their names, but they were all in that Hollywood circle, right?
Right.
Talkn and bopping.
Yes.
All of them, talkn and bopping.
Lisa Rinna was in that mix too.
Oh, shoot.
Well, she was talkn and bopping until she got Harry, but
for sure. I remember her. That whole crew was
yeah.
That crew was the crew that was being tossed around.
Yes, they were the little anorexic party favors.
They were the basketball wives. Well, maybe that's a different issue, but they were all being tossed around and playing in each other's yards with the same, just gathering everybody's juice, and everybody know each other.
Yes. Oh, I know, because look what Denise did to Heather Locklear. She stole her man.
Hello.
Richie Sambora. She said, "Let me take this poor man's Tommy Lee."
Pam, all them. I
Yep.
think Pam was the leader because she was on Baywatch. Girl, don't get me a line, but I remember how they used to move and sing this and that, and I'm like, and now it's coming to bite her in the ass. And I do believe that man is way too aggressive to the point
Yes.
where it is allegedly speaking, of course, that it's probably abusive, and that daughter don't want to be there no more because what was in the headlines was telling and not telling all at the same time. Why now she don't want to be with her mama after all this time? Because I think because of her choice, like you said, her choice in men.
Yeah. No, I think even just the aggressive way that he addressed Erica, he addressed any of the, like,
yes,
he's like staring her down. And listen, we can all think about whatever we want about Erica, but I have to tell you, I admired the fuck out of her when she was like, come at me, like stare me down. Like, you know what I mean? Because
listen, gold diggers don't play about their money. And that's what Erica was thinking about. He trying to mess up my money on this show. Everything is about money with gold diggers. Everything.
That's what she was making sure about me.
But you know, I noticed he is aggressive with the women on that show.
100%.
So
it was disturbing.
It was. And
it was disturbing.
I'm upset that no man was filmed checking him for that. He should have been checked on camera for how he talked to those women. Like they said, we're women. Why are you talking? Period.
Yes.
This is women's stuff. Why are you talking?
And did you notice how he just couldn't not interject?
Exactly. How do you think he is at home?
Exactly.
Worse, because ain't nobody else looking.
He's the type of man that tries to control people's behaviors. So you can imagine in a house full of women what he was trying to do with those girls.
Exactly. And Denise seems like the type that'll just sugarcoat and hide and try and not, and not make matters worse, or try and or in her eyes try and make things better by pacifying it.
Yeah, it was absolutely apparent during her last season how uncomfortable she was when it didn't seem like she could control him or the situation in order to protect how he came off.
And if you know anything about women in those situations, the one thing to do is they will leave to avoid any confrontation. Her biggest thing is leaving because she know her husband can't stay too long. That's why she wanted to leave.
Oh, 100%. I think that was very obvious.
She's protecting him when she knows he's wrong. Ooh. I don't like it. I don't want her on the show no more. No, she can go somewhere and deal with her family.
She does. It's interesting. She was just on Jeff Lewis Live, on Sirius. I caught some clips on YouTube, and it's interesting. Like, I don't know if she's trying to campaign to come back on the show or not. I couldn't tell.
I think so. I think she likes the limelight regardless. And the fact that she's been in some mess up until now, something that she feels as though she can handle anything coming up. That
also needs the paycheck.
Hollywood view of things. Well, I'm on the camera, so I'm on the camera.
She's also not getting child support from Charlie Sheen right now.
Girl. Well, first of all, she got a man. So if he ain't kicking in, then
I guess his magnets and crystals must not be making enough money.
Girl, he probably crushed him, stepped on him or something.
I am I believe in all of that stuff. And I'm not saying that there probably isn't some kind of validity to his science or whatever, but I was like, you did yourself zero favors with how you explained any of this.
True, because it shouldn't be an issue explaining it to anybody.
Nope, you should have had your 30-second elevator speech ready to go before you even got on camera. And Denise should know better than that.
Something about that tells me she married down. Because emotionally, to me, anybody who does, first of all, to say that on camera and for her to always remind him he's on camera, if it's just the waist down, fine, but you ain't have to marry it.
Oh.
She's the one who put it out there. I'm just saying.
I know. And the camera, and put out a photo and all of it. Yep.
A photo.
There was a picture she posted of him asleep in the bed with a very clear D imprint in the sheets.
See, I was gonna say something, but I don't want to get my page shut down. See, that's that mindset from back then.
Right.
Every self-respecting woman knows you don't put your man's business out there like that.
No.
It's not boasting and bragging about it. That's not what you do. And you in Hollywood too, girl. He already cute. Now you're saying he packing too?
I know. Just enjoy it. Keep it to yourself.
Really? You see, Beyonce did the same thing. You see what happened? She made ego, and next thing you know, she making lemonade. First, he had a big ego. Now she's drinking lemonade. What? Keep your business to yourself.
Yeah.
I don't like him, and I hope he goes somewhere far, far away.
Yeah, there's a lot of dark shit, I think, going on over at her household right now. You know, I'm sure that Charlie Sheen's house is no place for a teenager to be either. You know what I mean? So, like, I feel bad because it sounds like just, you know, a rough situation. Pick the lesser of the two evils.
Girl, I feel sorry for the kids because
that's what I mean. Yeah.
It's so obvious that Denise is hiding things. It's just obvious the way she moves and she's lying about this and that's fine if you don't want nobody to know that's your business. Okay, I get it. But it's just how she moves. It's just real shisty, and I wish that he didn't do that on camera. But ever since he did, anything that comes, it's all too familiar with what I know about that stuff.
Right.
Not first, you know, it's just, I've been on this earth long enough to know that he ain't no good.
No, it made me very uncomfortable. That, like, any interaction with him, it made, like, because the look in his eyes, the way he was going dead in the eyes, and the way he was trying to dominate the situation. And then, like you said, the hot mic moment. If if we didn't have all of them, maybe it was a moment where they had too much to drink and he was embarrassed. The situation was going left. He's not used to being on camera and she felt like mocked by her and maybe it would be like, stop talking. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the way that Denise is scared at that party to leave him, the way that she's scared. That's what I picked up on. She's scared. Her energy was, and then you could even see, like, this is the part I felt bad for, even though it's like a problem of her own making. You could almost see her looking at the women please don't, you guys are not my allies or my friends. Like, please protect me, kind of thing. But I think all of the women are like, how can we protect you when your husband is like, you know what I mean? I found it very uncomfortable. I'm glad that they're not back because I saw all I needed to see from him.
Right.
And I feel bad because I think, Denise even had her own reality show. I remember watching it. She had it on E! with Ryan Seacrest. And I think that she has just operated where she clearly has had a wild life. You don't choose to marry Charlie Sheen if you ain't into some kinky shit. Okay, I'm sorry. I think she's used to being able to just not address it and go past, like, you know, like under the radar by never speaking on it. But the problem is that you cannot go on this type of show and not speak on it. You cannot. Right. You're a fool. You're a fool.
Yeah, exactly.
Tomfoolery. And that's what I saw the most was like, okay, Janice, you got a pretty easy first season. And I think you thought that you could come into this and like not have to protect your own self. And that is just not the case, especially when you actually have shit to hide, which is clearly that she does. I don't like seeing women scared on camera. I'd rather see them mad and, you know, and reading each other.
Now, okay, you spoke a little bit on time, Gyrrrl.
Yeah.
Now, from my understanding, correct me if I'm wrong. Now, they were together almost 30 years.
Yes.
Okay. Now, no children, of course. Her only one is from previous, and his kids grown and carrying on.
Yes.
Now, because they never got a prenup, she is half liable for the things that he did because his account technically is her account.
Yes.
Okay. Now, do you know what was said recently about her not having to be on the same debt as him? What is she excluded from?
So it gets complicated, and I'm no lawyer, and allegedly speaking, of course, of all of this. But I will also say Emily D. Baker, a YouTuber, does fantastic.
I like her.
What? Yeah, like her. She's great. She's great. Shout out to Emily D. Baker. It's amazing coverage of the legal system and the mess that's in it. What I understand is that there's Gyrrrl Keith, the actual law firm that is going through bankruptcy. And then there's the personal bankruptcy. I do not believe they have personally declared him bankrupt on the personal side yet. What Erica is being pulled into in regards to the Gyrrrl Keith is they're trying to claw back any money that came from the firm, from client funds, into her account. So that makes it like we are clawing back illegal money. Whereas because there was no prenup, whatever debt he has owed to make restitution, whatever assets they can liquidate to secure those debts, that she is on the hook for on the personal side. So because there's kind of those two situations jockeying for position with one another, that's why you see some of the what she's liable for and what she isn't. Everybody was kind of making a lot of headlines about the fact that one lawsuit was dismissed in Illinois. But what people really need to understand is it's simply needing to be a change of venue. That's all. They did it to get things going in the state of Illinois because it's the lawyers that had no idea that he was stealing money. You know, that's the state that those lawyers were in. And now that they've gotten the ball rolling and everything is going the way that it is, it was dismissed in Illinois without prejudice so that they could pursue it in the state of California, and they are. So everybody was like, oh, she's not. I'm like, no, they're just getting all of the ducks in a row now to go after things because they are absolutely pursuing getting the money for their clients. So what they're trying to do is because the Lion Air case was the most recent award that he got, they're hoping that they can catch the money where it kind of sloughed off too quickly because it's recent. And so they're trying to get at Erica because they're saying you absolutely got some of those dollars. Recent? What?
How recent?
I think the Lion Air settlement was last year, the year before. So it's basically the lawyers were alerted by the victims, like, hey, we haven't gotten our money yet. And it was like, what? You know, like, you're kidding. You know? So I would say there was probably like a 6-month lag. I think that the lawyers were incredulous, like, this cannot be happening. Like, Tom Girardi, TG, cannot really be not paying these widows and orphans. It's bad. Yes.
Well, you know what? Oh, I'm sorry. Were you done?
I was going to say, this is the worst part right now. And this is what's causing all of the arguments with Beverly Hills now. You've heard about the earrings, right?
Yeah, $750.
Yeah, 1.2 million value now.
Oh.
Yeah, they've increased in value because, you know, they got little blood diamonds. Yeah.
I wonder if my ring increased in value. Girl.
1.2 or 1.4, allegedly speaking, of course. But yes, no,
well,
but here's the thing.
Victims then, because they need all at one point.
Right. Well, the thing is that a judge, Erica's agreed to have them be held by a third party before they decide what to do with them. She's not willing to give them up yet to go.
I heard that.
Right. So, but she was wearing them in Aspen. It's like, you've already gotten a judgment that you're supposed to put them away and give them, but you're wearing them.
Wait, I thought that meant that they were with a third party.
Oh, no, she has not handed them over yet. And she's wearing them during filming.
Okay, listen, Erica Jane Girardi, whatever your name is. Girl, listen.
I know.
It is not that deep. It just ain't that deep to wear those earrings.
And that's why Gyrrrl unfollowed her on, and like there was a big blow up. Because you can imagine, it's like, really? You're really gonna wear those on camera? You're really gonna wear those on camera? They fold your earlobes down. You look like a fool in them. They're too heavy for your ears, but you're gonna wear them because it is that deep. And it's like, if you're wearing them, that's a middle finger to the victims right now.
Exactly. See, it's one thing to pose and do your job and look like you looking for the next old man. But it's another thing to include tangible items that are in question that probably will not be yours.
Or as like a provocateur. That's like you're wearing that to antagonize.
I would say so. And nah, Erica, see.
That's what it feels like, because if it's already out in the court, you've agreed to put them in a third-party trust. You've agreed to that, but you're wearing them. It was like when she made that little comment about how she stole the Baccarat, you know, crystal. And like, it's like, Erica, you just don't need to put that shit on camera. You're just living, and it just shows to me that she feels like she's more entitled to have her things and that she's a victim versus I lived off of other people, like now, like pain and misery, you know? I'm not saying you have to just hand over all your shit and not do it in the way that serves you the best to crawl out of this mess, whatever. But don't purposely wear earrings that you know are a media hot button.
Yeah, it ain't right.
No, it's offensive.
It ain't right. It ain't right. You can wear nothing else. Nothing else.
Hey, and they don't, yeah.
And I would think I would think her motive for wearing them would be, like she said before, to shut people up, to, you know, like pretty much out of spite. And it just makes it even worse because she's been known to do that recently. It ain't cool. It ain't cool to do that.
No, and that's what apparently the rumors are circulating about. There was a big blow up in Aspen between the ladies in general, that even Lisa.
So she wore them. It wasn't that paparazzi caught her. No, she's filming wearing these. Girl, yeah.
She made a choice. She made a choice.
Yeah. I would have said something on camera. Are those the earrings you supposed to be?
I think Gyrrrl did.
What do you have in your ears?
Yeah, like what are you wearing? Aren't those the earrings you were supposed to hand over? Like,
I
why
just
do
would
you
have
have
said,
those on?
I would have said, are those earrings? Girl, what? I would have made it shady, but girl, what? Like really?
I know. Yeah, I mean,
Mm-mm. Mm-mm. It ain't like you broke, heifer. It ain't like you ain't got nowhere to go and you like Portia dumb behind talking about she was homeless. Oh, almost said something. Almost said something. Got my page shut down. You, if they see, gold diggers need some training, a retraining. Go back to all the old gold diggers is quiet. They in they gold, they chilling.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, take a page from what's that girl Carlisle? What's that girl out in Miami, Wags, that I was talking to you about? The one that got what's the name? The real skinny one, the one everybody was hating on.
I know who you're talking about, and I can't remember her name either.
Let's say Carlisle or
Let me look it up.
Celeste or somebody.
Oh, I think is it Celeste?
No, it ain't Celeste. It ain't Celeste.
I'm scared. No, it's
I know it start with a C or something.
That sounds like a skinny white girl name.
Girl. Whatever. It just
I'm looking it up.
They need to take a page out of her because I think she's the newest, to me, the newest gold digger that's, new in the game and still holding on.
Yeah. But I feel like Erica feels very entitled. I don't, and I guess apparently, like the rumors are, Lisa Rinna is kind of on the outs with her. She's really worried about her because she's on 2 different antidepressants and drinking, and that mix isn't going well, which it often doesn't. You should really not be drinking on antidepressants.
That's what they've been doing that since day one.
I know, but I think she might be on some new ones that are not doing so well. Like, when Sonia switches up her water pills and it's like, whoa, you're breaking.
Claudia.
It was like Celeste.
Okay. Claudia's behind. They need to bring that show back. I like that show. I'm mad I didn't watch it then. I like that show.
I ran across, I was at The Incredible Stew with Ben and Gemma, and I saw from Wags LA. Who was that one that was always so freaking nervous until she finally got that dude to marry her?
I never saw LA. I saw Atlanta and Miami. I haven't even seen LA yet.
You haven't even seen the good one.
Is it on Hulu?
I think it is.
Girl, let me see. Because I watched that mug. Wags? No, that ain't it. They only got Atlanta and Miami on here.
Oh, that's unfortunate. They have there's some characters you need to meet on the LA one. Seriously.
Maybe YouTube got something going on.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, so Beverly Hill, and Kathy sent a cease and desist to Lisa Rinna.
Now, what is going on? The girls are fighting.
The girls are girling.
The girls are sending cease and desist.
Well, that Kathy likes to drop a cease and desist. Kathy dropped a cease and desist to quote Alexander Diane Rogers. Quote, they dropped one on Kyle when she was coming out with American Woman.
I just about to say, she said on camera, if she got to sue her kid, she would.
She would. And she meant it. And she meant it.
So, hey, I don't blame her because do what you got to do.
So, yeah.
What's she do now? She what happened? Is it because of her daughter's book or something?
No, apparently, and I want to be careful, allegedly speaking, of course.
Of course,
But,
allegedly, of course.
of course. But I even want to be careful how I like communicate it so it makes sense. They were in Aspen at a nightclub after hours. Kathy Hilton wanted to hear her good friend who sees no color, Michael Jackson, and play, and the DJ didn't hear her request. Like she wasn't being heard. So she stopped an employee and asked them to go tell the DJ she wanted to hear a Michael Jackson song. And the way the employee responded to her, she ended up saying to him, well, this is what white privilege looks like.
Oh.
In front of Lisa Rinna, and then they left, and she was outraged. So apparently, I think it's to do with you are not going to make me look like, you know, a racist or whatever on national television. I keep saying national. We know it's more than that, but whatever. But that's already out. Obviously, it's already been leaked. So there's no point to send a cease and desist. But Lisa Rinna exposed that Kathy Hilton was at Donald Trump's Super Bowl party over the weekend, or when it happened. So the gloves are off there.
Wait a minute, I missed something. So
yeah.
Okay, so they somewhere in nightclub. Kathy wanted to hear Michael.
Yes.
And okay, how did it get to white privilege again?
I think that the employee kind of was like something like, why should I do that for you? Or like, I'm not gonna, you know, like who do you think you are? Like kind of like, I'm not your slave or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not your servant to do that. And she said, this is what, you know, like, or why should I do that for you? And her response, and then that's what's been consistent, is her response was, this is what white privilege looks like.
Wait, whose response? Who said that?
Kathy.
Oh.
So like, why should I go and like have them play, you know, your song or whatever? This is why you do this for me, because this is what white privilege looks like.
So she said it as, do what I say because I'm white.
Yes.
Oh.
Like, this is the face of white privilege.
And she was serious. She wasn't joking or.
Apparently, if she's going to send a cease and desist.
So now she don't want that out, that she said that.
Yes.
Kathy got some explaining to do. I need some tone to that whole situation. Is it on video? I need to see, because
I don't think it was. I think it was after hours. I think it was when they weren't filming, but but Lisa Rinna was there.
So she sent a cease and desist to people who could throw her up under the bus.
Yep.
Now, is Lisa saying something against the cease and desist?
Well, I mean, yes, she's. I mean, the rumors are already out. Like, it's already been leaked. You know what I mean? We already know what the offensive potential line is, all of that stuff. Sure. So her cease and desist didn't do shit. Lisa actually, yes, if I remember correctly, allegedly speaking, of course, Lisa posted, cease and desist. Are we doing this again? And like on her stories on Instagram.
Now, I'm going to say this. Remember how no one came for Kathy but Gyrrrl? With a few playful jabs. I mean, nobody came for Kathy.
Yes.
But Gyrrrl with playful jabs. Nothing serious, right?
100%.
Even though Sutton had every right to. And we know what that was about. Why is Lisa Rinna, of all the booty kisser of all booty kissers on that show, why is she going for Kathy like that? Because that's a dig to Kathy.
It's all out war. She also
Denise, Kathy.
I know. No, and Kyle too, because you're declaring a family situation. Lisa Rinna posted on her Instagram stories exposing that Kathy Hilton was at Donald Trump's Super Bowl party.
See, it's something going on.
Yeah. Something's
Lisa
afoot.
Rinna is spilling the beans without spilling the beans.
Yep. It's
Whoop
engaged in.
ships, sink ships.
She got them silicone lips. They ain't sinking nothing.
Soup
They're floating on the
coolers.
top.
Soup coolers.
Yes. Well, I'm trying to figure out. I don't really know what's going on. Like, I feel like Lisa Rinna, like this is some moves. These are some chess pieces being played.
She is going against Kathy Hilton. Why? And with Lisa Rinna, it's always a reason. So what's the reason?
Storyline?
For something that involves legal, I would think Lisa is putting up a stand against Kathy. Them girls don't play with the law like that. They really don't.
No, they don't.
And I wouldn't think that they would make it known to the world that there is legal things going on unless Lisa wanted people to know.
Well, I also know too that there's
exposing her. I think she's trying to expose Kathy.
I think so. Well, because Kathy apparently called her husband to Aspen, like, because she was having a freak out. And I think I saw that Kathy didn't show up to the finale either. So there's stuff already going on.
Did she talk about the husband? Sister. She got it from her sister. Yo, we talking about the husbands.
So I don't know. I think Kathy Hilton is a really interesting one in that, she was quirky and fun and all of that. But like this woman, if she would put a cease and desist on her own family, what makes anybody think that she's going to allow her stuff to be played out like that?
I'm about to say what I think about this. And this is just my opinion. I could be wrong.
The thing of it is that.
The thing of it is that allegedly speaking, of course. Let's just say that first. Okay. I believe, and it just seems as though Kathy is trying to protect her family because I think it stems from her mom being kind of an ain't-ish mama. The way that they described her as somebody who ain't cooking, who ain't cleaning, who just got all this money and affordability and just does whatever. Not to say she's purposefully neglectful. Maybe some think so.
Yes, because there's a tell-all that came out about their mom, and it's bad.
And just from Kathy wanting her mom not to be put in the light like that, and I get it.
Sure. Yeah.
You want to protect in their death. You want to protect your parent. They're not here to defend themselves, and it just ain't fair to bring up their dirty laundry like that.
And you can tell Kathy still loves her mom. Like, for
sure.
Right? Like, emotionally, it just hurts her. It's like, just look at that's the one thing. Look at Kathy gets upset about her mama. Just leave it alone.
I believe so. I agree. And I think because of how the girls were affected by that and how much Kyle wants to be the super mom.
Right.
And I think, if I'm not mistaken, there was a lot of alcohol when they were little.
Basically, the tell-all talks about that Kathy, Big Kathy, as they called her, was obsessed with trying to find a new, was a gold digger herself. And that was commonly known to be sitting at bars, looking for a man to buy her drinks, like almost embarrassingly so at times.
She was Kathy Hilton?
Big Kathy. Yeah, Kathy Hilton's mom.
Oh, I did not know their mom's name.
They called her Big Kathy. Kathy Jr. Yeah, Big Kathy.
I didn't know that. Okay.
Yes. So she was just known as like the local kind of like gold digging drunk in like at times. And
Don't say
so,
she was running with Ronald Reagan's wife.
to say,
Don't say she was running with Nancy, girl. Don't say it. Don't say she was running with Nancy.
well, deep throats run together. I don't know if that's necessarily the reputation she had, but like there's all kinds of traumatic stuff they talked about. Like one time Kathy had different men in her bed and the girls would have to would come in and chase him out, things like that. So it sounds like they had a really like kind of rough situation with their mother's moving, like her attitude towards men, and she absolutely groomed them to marry well.
Well, I think that really proves my mindset.
Oh yeah.
As far as that is concerned, I do believe Kathy really, uh, uh, Kathy Jr.
Right, little Kathy.
Okay, wanted to really protect their mom and not her, because she's real careful about what do you want to say about mom, and even that part about mom, about when Kyle said mom was like a lazy type of situation, how Kathy didn't want anything negative
No,
about
nothing.
her mom. And what I know is when you say that, there's so much negativity going on. You don't want nothing said about your mama.
Yep.
You don't
And
want
I
nothing
honestly,
said about your loved one.
no, and I mean, if you think about it, she's also had to deal with her daughter's sex tape on the internet, like out when that was not a normal thing.
Yeah.
She has had to deal with some public exposure that's like pretty wild.
Yeah, and I think just recently, I think Paris put out a book about some evil type of stuff she experienced as a kid while due to her parents wanting her to act better, or
Yes.
I don't know what it was, but it was some controversial that I really don't know exactly what it was, but like what?
They sent her to, one of the like a boarding school that's supposed to be like almost like a scared straight or a situation like that, where you put them out in kind of the elements and try to kind of break their spirit, like, do hard work. And
what they do for, is it like similar to what they do for gay kids? Take them somewhere and try and make them not be gay no more?
It's kind of more like where you send kids that are acting out to kind of break them into behaving. It's kind of like gay conversion, like where they literally like, yeah.
Oh, that's crazy. Oh, that's crazy. Listen,
yes.
Your kid got something going on. If it ain't a genetic disorder, that's on you and your parenting.
Yep.
So now you want to send a kid somewhere because you lost control somewhere along their life. Girl, bye. If it ain't a genetic issue that you really need professional help for, maybe you need to check yourself about what happened along the years about you being a parent.
Oh yeah, I can only imagine. I mean, they lived in the Waldorf for years. I mean, the amount of just wealth that she's had access to for a long time.
I wish him well.
Yeah. Seriously.
I wish him well.
I wonder if Kathy is going to last another season after this one.
Girl, the kitchen is hot. She's trying to get out of there. It's on fire.
She is. She is.
Film, so she put a cease and desist. Now she don't want to film no more, or is she filming? What's going on?
From what I understand, she didn't attend the finale.
Oh,
I don't think they've filmed the reunion yet. What?
They did a finale already?
Oh yeah, because they started filming like right away after the reunion. Remember, they got Dorit's raw, break in, all of that stuff. Andy actually said that they decided with Salt Lake and with Beverly Hills, because of the situations, that they had to they decided to roll right into filming.
I guess we might as well get all the footage we can before we can't.
Well, yeah, because this is when the shit's popping.
I mean, because I think I heard Salt Lake filmed, and then wrapped up the reunion, and then the following month they were filming again.
Yes, they went right back to it. So did Beverly Hills.
You know what? I'm gonna say something about this Mary Crosby. What I saw how they how they cut and pasted her scenes, I think it was how do you say, done on purpose because of the disgruntledness going on between her and the show. At first, now I'm not going to excuse anything she said, but how she said it was when she referenced Mexican cartel people, the first time it was filmed, the first episode they aired that, she was fumbling over her words, trying to say she's, like those Mexican cartel people,
Right.
not Mexicans. So the next time they flash back on a different episode, they cut off the part where she said like the cartels. So it looks like she's being discriminatory and racist towards Mexican people. And that's not cool to me.
No.
I didn't like that at all. Because it tells a different story when you cut that part off of what she said. Now, I saw someone else comment, a very well-known YouTube person, comment on the part that they cut and pasted, that they cut out about the cartel. They only spoke on, see how she's racist against Mexicans. I said, wait a minute. Now people are starting to comment on her being racist against Mexican people, and that's not cool. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I do. I just feel like they messed up with Mary in general because they have got an unwell person on the show.
True.
I just, honestly, and I'm not trying to excuse her or whatever, but like I look at Mary and I'm like, this is not a well person. Like the whole situation is super dupe sus. We know this. It's so sus. It's so sus. And I think that Bravo, was desperate for using the oddity of it and to get Salt Lake up and running, but it's painful to watch these women like try to interact with someone who's just not of this planet because she's been the whole inner workings of what's going on in her life and all of that clearly have scrambled her eggs, respectfully, allegedly speaking, of course. So I just kind of look at it like I agree with you. I think that whenever we find out there's some sort of divisive editing to the point that you're going to put somebody in harm's way because of the way you're skewing the edit, I think that's wrong.
Right.
And I think that there's probably a lot of that's happened that we just haven't been privy to, But besides, Mary says enough dumb shit. You don't need to create an inappropriate statement. You know what I mean? Like,
right. Just listen to her and she'll give you what you need now.
She will. And it's interesting that you say that because I am curious as to how much a housewives relationship with production, like how petty it gets, because all of those production companies are different. Like they're all outsourced production companies that produce the franchises, and Bravo then just buys them.
I don't know. It's really weird how all that works because it's just weird that it works that way.
Yes.
That it's just not all this. I don't know if it's more financially feasible or they're just really trying to give non-conglomerates a chance at working.
Oh, heck no, it's because it's cheap. Oh, no, yeah.
But because usually if, let's just say if ABC is the network, then ABC is going to do the work. I just never, imagined XYZ will be stepping in doing this piece, and that's how it is, period.
Mm-hmm.
But, I don't know nothing about it. It's a little weird though, but I mean, I know for a fact whoever produced New York
Mm-hmm.
should not be producing anybody else.
True. True.
And on that note, you want to
wrap this up. The thing of it is that it's time to stop.
I had fun, and I can't wait till the next time.
Me too.
Because
and that's not allegedly.
It sure ain't, because it's a mess out there.
A mess.
Well, till next time, we gonna get together again real soon. All right. Later.
Bye.